Hi there, and welcome to Essential Oil Talk Radio with Marc and Nikki. If you're frustrated with trying to manage your health and are looking for real information that challenges the status quo, you're in the right place. As we know, our radio broadcast reaches over 2 million residents in 99 counties here in Texas. This is an amazing opportunity for small business owners who want to get their product or service in front of a lot of people. We're excited to announce our 12-week advertising bundle for just $250. That's a really inexpensive amount for a small business to get in and get started. This advertising opportunity includes a professionally recorded and produced radio commercial that you create with KTSA's experienced production team. For more information on how your business can take advantage of this exciting opportunity to get on the radio for 12 weeks for only $250, visit our website at eotalkradio.com and click on the sponsor tab. I want to talk real quick about the t-shirt that I'm wearing, right?
Nice.
You noticed that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I noticed.
Okay. A policeman I used to work with, Detective Pablo Arriaga, helps sponsor an organization called Blue Force Apparel that makes these shirts in honor of Officer Bobby Deckard, Detective Ben Marconi, and Officer Miguel Moreno, all who were killed in the line of duty. I knew Detective Ben Marconi personally. He worked for me for a while. All the profits from the shirt sales go to support the San Antonio Hispanic Police Officers Association Scholarship Fund, to help give scholarships to these folks so that they can go to school. So you can get these t-shirts by visiting Blue Force Apparel. That's Blue Force Apparel's Facebook page. So just search Blue Force Apparel on Facebook. You'll find it and you can get your t-shirts there.
Oh, that's cool. That's a really nice idea, too, to honor them and all they did for us. All right, so hello and welcome to the show. As you guys know, if you're following me on social media, that my kid went off to camp for the first time. It's overnight church camp. It's been a little tough for me, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. Now, they had given her a list of things to bring when she comes to church camp, right? So here's what you need to pack in your bag. And the first thing I noticed was it said to bring bug spray. So if you know anything about sensitive skin, you will know that bug spray is a huge no-no. We're talking about the cutter, those 99-cent bug sprays you find in the store. They're loaded in DEET, right? And that is just the number one irritant for skin issues during the summertime. So I knew that we had to stray away from that. So I was able to send an all-natural version that I made myself. It's a DIY bug-off spray that we make. And it has essential oils in it. And again, that's very empowering for me because I know I'm taking care of my daughter in situations when I'm not even there. So that was pretty cool. Another choice that I was able to send with her was the Young Living sunscreen, her lip balm, shampoo, hand sanitizers, and so on. So it came to a point where I was like, okay, I can't be sending everything we use at home with her. And I didn't want to confuse her and overload her with a bunch of essential oils, right? So I got it down to one essential oil that really is going to take care of every little thing she needs. Do you have any clue what one oil I sent with her?
Lavender.
Yep, you got it. Because that's the Swiss Army knife of essential oils, right?
Betcha.
So on the drive there, she's like, my tummy feels a little uneasy. I'm like, get your lavender oil. So she put a little bit on. She was feeling that anxiousness feeling, right? Because she was going away. I was feeling it too. And I said, okay, so if you fall down and scrape your knee, what are you going to do? Put lavender oil on it. I'm like, okay. And what if you get bit by a mosquito, just in case? She's like, lavender oil. I'm like, okay, before you go to bed at night, what are you going to do? Lavender oil. And I said, and what if you get bit by a werewolf? She's like, lavender oil, duh, right? So it was pretty cute. But this week I've been very emo, right? Very emotional. I've been a little emotional about it because I'm anxiously awaiting her to get home. But knowing that every night she's smelling lavender oil, I'm doing the same. Her and I are smelling the same scent.
Sure.
And that's like a little bond away from home. So I'm finding the comfort in that. So I just want to share that. That's my story this week. And it's a reason for my recipe I'm getting ready to share next.
And I know that goes to the heart of why you're even doing this radio show is because people need to know that essential oils are a natural way that we can solve life's little issues. That's why we call you the Dr. Mom.
Right.
It's about solving life's little issues with something that is natural, doesn't, add toxicity to the body, inflammation to the body, these other things, right?
Correct.
So that's awesome.
It doesn't irritate. And I love that because she's irritates me a lot. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, kids, right? Kids and parents, we're always going to be at odds at least a little bit. All right. So as you guys know, I'm talking a lot about CBD oil. I'm very passionate about it because in the study and this investigations really, because I'm really going after it. For those who know me, I have a law enforcement background. I have worked homicide, internal affairs. I know investigations. I was good at it. I enjoyed it. But I like digging down and finding out why. When I would take a murder case before a jury, it was good to know, they needed to know the why,
Well, yeah.
right? And so I like to get at that, to get at the root of whatever's going on. And I did not know about CBD oil until not too long ago. And I have been completely blown away by its, what it can do for the body. It is just amazing. So I want to share that with our listeners. So y'all are just going to take the ride with me because I'm learning and I'm sharing with people. Everybody I know, everybody I get in contact with, I'm going to tell you a little bit about CBD oil because you need to know about it. All of us know somebody that can benefit from this product. And really, all of us need to be taking CBD to an extent, right? Because it can help us with everyday, issues and toxicity and stress and everything else that's going on. So let's start with what is CBD or what is CBD oil? So it's an oil comprised of cannabidiol molecules. I know it's a fancy, $50 word, cannabidiol, right? If you're from the Northeast, it might be cannabidiol or something it doesn't really matter, right? But it's cannabidiol is how I say it, how a lot of folks say it. So these molecules are extracted from the cannabis plant. Oh, it's marijuana, right? They're extracted from the cannabis plant, often using carbon dioxide as a solvent, okay? Carbon dioxide is a cleaner, more pure form of extraction because it doesn't leave a residue behind after the process is completing. So if you're going to get CBD oil, you want it to be the extraction process to have been a CO2 process, okay? Now what that does is it isolates the CBD after the extraction process, during the process, and then it's distilled, okay, afterwards, okay? The CBD isolate, right, which is what it is at that point, is then combined with a food-grade carrier oil such as coconut or MCT oil. We're all familiar with that. So CBD isolate has benefits, right? This is what I've just talked about, is that's a CBD isolate. CBD isolate has benefits, but your top-tier CBD oil companies combine the isolate with high-quality essential oils in order to create is what we call a broad-spectrum oil, CBD oil, okay? By combining the CBD isolate with the terpenes from essential oils, right? That's the aromatics that we smell. This is called the entourage effect. We can get more of a whole plant benefit from the CBD oil. This is important because anytime you take something out, right, and you're trying to do a one-for-one, it's one molecule that you're giving your body, it's not going to be as effective as a whole plant experience, right? This is why adding in essential oils is really, really good benefit, okay? So what's cool is that some companies, such as Young Living, right, are combining CBD with a variety of essential oils, right? Which can lead to some amazing benefits for our health. So I'm excited about the possibilities of combining CBD with like lavender or citrus oils, cinnamon, which is my favorite, by the way. But I mean, what happens if you combine it with frankincense or copaiba, right? Which we know they're amazing essential oils. And I bet you that they're doing that. They do testing and so forth. They want to find out
the added benefits of
right.
the essential oils with the CBD oil.
Exactly right. So here's the question that comes up: what about THC, right? Because it's from the cannabis plant, marijuana. It's going to have THC. I don't want my my 8-year-old or my 90-year-old mom or grandma getting high off of something when they're trying to feel better, right? We don't want a psychoactive effect. So THC, of course, is the psychoactive component of the cannabis plant, but most people don't want this in their CBD oil. But in some states, you can get it if you want it, right? If not here in Texas, right? Texas law limits THC to 0.3%, okay? You can't have more than that in it. So the best way to ensure your CBD oil does not contain THC is to make sure that it was processed as an isolate, which is why I explained that part first, okay? Make sure the company conducts third-party testing, right? You want to have somebody else kind of overseeing the process, and there's accountability there. Make sure those documents are available to you, right? So you can check them out and make sure that everything's being done the way it's supposed to be done. The integrity of the company is super important too, because if they're going to manufacture false stuff, it's not worth losing your job on a drug test.
Right. That was my main concern. You're saying your kids or your grandparents, but what about those that are, for instance, the police force, right? You can't do drugs there.
That's exactly right.
You have drug testing.
And it's randomized. I mean, you never know when you're going to. So who wants that stress, right? You're just trying to feel better, and you end up getting popped hot on a THC test. That's not a good
military.
thing.
Think about military personnel.
Yep. And then you have to go through the whole process of explaining it. So, but the question is CBD oil better if it contains THC? This is an argument. This is a discussion. It's a very opinionated topic, right?
Okay.
But I'm going to talk about that in depth in another segment. So, anyway, that's just kind of the basics of what is CBD oil.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. We need to all tune in and take notes. I'm going to get a copy of those notes later because I'm very interested in what you have to say. And I know you do your research very, very well. So today's recipe is actually brought to you by my kids' camp and that feeling of, oh, I don't have my baby with me or, oh, I don't have my baby with me. It's all in how you say it, right?
Sure.
So today is strawberry lime wine slushies. Tell me.
You and wine. Wine keeps, I'm sensing a theme here.
I'm just saying. So you take one bag of frozen strawberries. That's 15 or 16 ounces. Now, I know that Costco and Sam's has an organic bag of strawberries for like $5. So it's not too pricey there. And then to that, you're going to add your 4 cups of wine, your favorite wine. Now, I choose Moscato because I like that sweeter taste. You could add in a white Zinfandel or some rosé, whatever you choose. And then you're going to add in 2 drops of lime essential oil. Put that in your Ninja blender, right? Your blender, blend it up, and it makes this nice little refreshing slushy that has the wine in it, and it tastes phenomenal. It really is.
I'm thirsty now. Thanks for that.
What's for snack? Wine slushies, honey. Now, if you want to go that extra mile, and you're preparing for a party and you don't want to have to do all this, think about doing these in the popsicle molds.
Oh, yes.
And you freeze them up, and they're adult popsicles. That would be kind of cool. I think I'll try that for our next get-together with the rallies and Young Living. What do you think about that?
I like that better than the salad you were talking about last time.
That's funny.
All right, so the San Antonio Empowerment Council is, they're one of our sponsors. They have a huge essential oil rally here in San Antonio on August 10th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The keynote speaker is Terry Seacrest, who is a noted author and successful entrepreneur. Her popular books include A Biblical Perspective on Essential Oils and How Big Is Your Wave, which is more focused on entrepreneurship, right? You can get your tickets now at saecevents.com. Now, my wife and I will be at La Taza Java Coffee House at 281 in Brook Hollow here every Tuesday, right, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to chat CBD and essential. I've been waiting for a while to be able to say that. We're going to talk CBD and essential oils, right? It's a good idea to check our events tab, though. Check our schedule because we got a lot of things that are coming up. There may be a week that we miss. Want to make sure that you don't waste your time by going out there. So check our events tab at eotalkradio.com and just click on the events tab from there.
Awesome. And, I'm always out at the farmer's market at the Blanco Mercantile out at 36906. That's the wrong address, but it's okay. Nobody's really listening to the address, right? They already know where I am. That's at 30690 Blanco Road out in Bulverde, Texas. And that's the farmer's market every Friday, 1 to 6. And we've really been enjoying that, meeting lots of new people.
Yeah, so, you're moving a lot of, so you do the bug off out there, right? And I know you're going to rotate some different stuff. And then you have the lavender lemonade out there. And then, of course, there's some really great people out there, some great products. I'm a regular now. Yeah. I got to go and I got to get my stuff while I'm there. Sean hooks me up with some greens, and then I get my jerky down with, is it Dorothy?
Dorothy and Jim. Mm-hmm.
Dorothy and Jim,
They do a great job. So, yeah. All right. So I had a nice little pop-up message yesterday, and it really made me feel good, and it reminded me of why I'm on this mission. It was a mom in my neighborhood telling me that she had just had her very own Dr. Mom moment, that she was putting lavender and peppermint on her son's tummy, and she was also letting him breathe in the aroma of the peppermint. Now, she said that he wasn't feeling 100% before, but this was really, really helping him, and he was feeling much better. So I love that feeling of feeling empowered to help other moms, and that's, again, what the whole Dr. Mom mission is about. And I just wanted to share that because it's important to me to be able to get the word out and help moms. And to me, this movement is just about empowering moms to do more naturally.
That's right. And it's really easier than people think. The learning curve on essential oils may seem a little bit big at first, but, when you can just, like you were saying with lavender earlier, lavender is good for just so many different things,
right.
And it comes with a starter kit that everybody gets. I call it like the complete home kit, right, of essential oils. That it's really not as difficult as some people think it is. So awesome. All right, so back to CBD oil. So what is CBD oil being used for? Okay, so let me just
wait. What is it not being used for?
Right? Okay, right?
It's
bug
crazy.
Spray. It's not used for bug spray.
Not yet.
But so CBD. Now I just want to be specific here. So I'm going to talk about cannabidiol, right, or cannabidiol. I'm going to talk about that. Okay, that's a molecule that's extracted from the cannabis plant. So this is what we're talking about. This is what's being tested. Okay, now people introduce it into their body different ways. CBD oil would be one of them. Okay, it could also be doing something else, but won't get into that here. But by and large, we're talking about the molecule itself. Okay, So it's being used for pain, huge for pain,
Yep.
right? I mean, lower back pain, knee pain, joint pain, on and on and on. I know you have experience with that to some extent as well, but it's being used for pain all over the place, right? We have an opioid crisis in the United States.
Yes.
We know that. I've seen some of the map, of the crisis going on in Texas is like really bad, right? Well, this is something that is being looked at as something that can have not only maybe as a replacement, right? Which you think of a replacement might be a bit extreme. I don't really know, but as an adjunct to it, as something that can help the opioid that the person is taking act better, because CBD, what it does is it facilitates communication in the body, which makes everything work better, which is pretty amazing. It's also being used for inflammation. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit, and I'll watch my time on this, but I'm going to talk a little bit about something that's called gene transcription modulation. Okay. So CBD oil changes the way our body uses its own endocannabinoids. Now, our body, and I'll talk about this in a different segment, but we have an endocannabinoid system in our
Right.
body, right?
We're born with that, right?
Right.
That's
It was
what.
discovered in the 90s, which is fascinating that it was so recent, right? At least it seems recent to me. But this is what it's connected to everything in our body, right? So when you can affect the endocannabinoid system, you're going to affect a lot in your body. Well, with respect to inflammation is what we're talking about. So here's a study that found on CBD oil used, found that it upregulated or turned on, right, over 680 gene pathways. Okay, the main ones turned on were pro-inflammatory. Or I'm sorry, let me back up. 680 gene pathways. The main ones turned on were antioxidant pathways, which help allow the body to clean up. That's what antioxidants do, right?
They help clean it up.
Now, that same study also found that CBD oil downregulated or turned off 524 gene pathways. The main ones turned off were pro-inflammatory cytokines. This allows the body to reduce inflammation. So let me just recap. So you're talking about increasing the ability of antioxidants to do their function and decreasing inflammation. Those two together. That is pretty
That's a
amazing.
win-win.
That's a home run, right? So this has a major effect on oxidative stress, inflammation, and the immunity genes, by the way, in the body. So that has to do with inflammation. Super awesome. For those of you who get the segment there and didn't let it whitewash, that is super powerful information right there. So CBD oil also helps with sleep, mental health, such as depression and anxiety. This is being studied left, right, and center. People that are dealing with anxiety issues, sleep issues. So when the body experiences fear, there's something called anandamide. All these terms,
Okay.
right?
I'm going to take your word for that.
Anandamide. Okay, those levels drop, which triggers a sympathetic nervous system. Okay, which triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which can be hard to get out of. It's a cycle that we get stuck in, and people are constantly on edge, right? And this is basically what anxiety is, right? So CBD oil naturally increases the activity of adenosine receptors in the body, which produces anti-anxiety effects. So the CBD oil helps the communication. It's like, here's an analogy. You got a room and everybody's yelling at each other, right? You can't get anything done. So
Welcome
CBD
to third
oil,
grade.
right? CBD oil is like the cop that comes in and everybody's like, ooh, you know what I mean? So everybody quiets down and now we can have communication. So that's kind of the analogy that I like to use with respect to what's going on in the body when it doesn't communicate very well. So, all right, I'm doing all right on time. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about brain health and inflammation. So our lifestyle and event is loaded with things that cause brain inflammation. We know this. It's mercury, it's glyphosate, mold toxins, Lyme toxins, EMF signals, on and on and on, right? So these things cause overactive or excited glutamate receptors, which cause inflammatory response that leads to neuron death. That's brain cells, right? Leads to neuron death, which causes more inflammation, right? The little guy dies, and then he causes more inflammation, which leads to more cell death, and it goes on and on and on. It's like the jumping bean. The one gets going, and then the rest of them just start firing, right? So CBD, so this is what CBD does for the brain, okay? So it shuts down the excited glutamate receptors and shuts off the chronic inflammatory response. It's like, that's enough. Chill, okay? This is what it basically influences the body to do, okay? It promotes neurogenesis, which people didn't think that we could generate new brain cells, but we actually can. It's proven science now that the brain does produce more neurons, more brain cells, which that's very uplifting to hear that.
It's uplifting and interesting. And I want to just bring out something that I've heard, people that smoke marijuana, they're killing their brain cells. But now it's just the opposite.
Well, they're talking about the THC in that.
Yes.
Which I don't know as far as the THC and the psychoactive effect, but what's interesting is that CBD actually mitigates the psychoactive effect of THC.
Yeah. Amazing.
But I don't know what percentages and all of that is going on. But anyway, so it promotes neurogenesis, which is awesome. I mean, when you have a good, quiet, calm environment, the body will function better. So it'll do its neurogenesis at a better pace. So this Bring Black helps restore continuity in the blood-brain barrier as well, which is huge because that's often compromised in these types of situations. And it brings back mental clarity and leads to homeostasis in the brain. So all good and exciting stuff.
Very exciting. Now, I've read some interesting facts and articles about CBD oil and epilepsy. I know someone who has that, who has had it their whole life, and she tells me that it's amazing. It has really been very helpful to her. Also with hormones and weight loss. I mean, it's all over the place, but I haven't read or even researched Alzheimer's and CBD. Yeah. Have you done any of that research yet?
As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if I get into that in our next episode, but I was just doing some research on that. And it was specific to Alzheimer's, but there's also, you've got related stuff like dementia as well that's tied into that. But yes, it is very impactful for those conditions, and at least it can be.
Well, you just trigger that in me that, that's how my father passed from complications with Alzheimer's. And some stuff you were saying, I was like, man, I think that would have been so helpful had I known. But that's the thing, I didn't know. So thanks for sharing that with me.
Sure.
So sometimes when my brain is not working, I like to just veg out and watch TV, okay? And I don't watch a lot of TV, but there's this one show that I am addicted to. And it is called, we talked about it the other day, Naked and Afraid, right? Like, I am in love with this show. So have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So for those that haven't, so it's basically, one man, one woman, they get dropped off in an environment that is not ideal. And I'm talking like Africa, Zimbabwe, the rainforests again.
Is that like your greatest fear?
Well, being naked is very afraid. I'm afraid when I'm naked. I'm just going to tell you.
It's a cycle.
So, again, you get dropped off, and now you're able to take one item with you. And people take like a knife or a fire starter, a machete. I've seen people take duct tape, a mosquito net, a pot for boiling water. So I really put some thought into that. It's like, what would I take? Assuming the man is going to take a knife. Or a fire starter, like one of the two, right?
Or an axe knife. Yeah, that's what I would take probably.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know what that is, but okay.
That sounds cool.
That sounds cool. It's like a cat dog. So I'm thinking, what would I take? I would take an oil. I would definitely take an essential oil. Probably lavender because, again, it could help you with anything. I mean, if you've watched the show, these people walk away with 10 billion different mosquito bites, right? And I'm like, oh, that would be so soothing. Or I can't sleep naked on the rocks in the middle of the night with God knows what next to me. But then I started thinking, what about peppermint oil, right?
Yeah.
That would be really good. Keep the bugs away. It would smell good because I'm sure I'm going to get a headache if I don't eat for 20 days. Hell, I get I get a headache if I don't eat in 20 minutes. So I can imagine 20 days with no food. Some people are out there doing some crazy things. But what do you think you would take?
If I had a choice of any oil, I think I would be inclined to take, there's an oil called Kunzia. Now it's from Australia, okay? And it's kind of in the tea tree lavender. It's got tea tree constituents and lavender constituents in it.
Okay.
So, and a Kunzia, I think it actually translates to something like tick bush, right? So it would be good when it comes to insects and that type of thing. But then also you've got your skin effects, you've got your lavender type effects. So that would probably be the one that I would choose, but I'd have to think about it a little bit.
All right. Well, I just thought it would be cool to bring up on this show. And if I'm just drinking water, some peppermint in the water would probably be really good.
Yeah, no joke. I've heard of using oregano to help, with the if you've got bad water, your river water or still water, that oregano can be helpful there. I don't know a whole lot about that.
Oh, so if you're a prepper and you don't have essential oils in your prepping kit, you need to contact me. Seriously.
Okay. So, no, check this out. So that's a very good point because I have heard and I didn't do this myself, but of course we have just about every oil there is and lots of them, right? Not that I'm prepping, but that people, there's this, it's called the Aroma Complete Kit that Young Living has.
Okay.
And that there's these prepping type convention things that Young Living people will go to, and they'll set up, and they'll have people that'll order several of those. And they're like a whole bunch of oils, right? And it's like $2,000 or something worth of oils.
Wow.
But they get everything in one shot, and they just stick it in their prep kit. The oils don't go bad as long as you keep them in a decent environment.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I want to congratulate last week's winner, Miss Lou Ann Johnson. So thank you. She made a comment that said, "Y'all are awesome."
I
y'all.
like that.
So I think she's from Texas.
Maybe we can
pretty
ever
awesome.
come to the studio and do that on the
let
radio.
us know that y'all are awesome. So thank you, Lou Ann. You won the 3-pack of the essential oils, the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And if you'll just reach out to me at nikki@eotalkradio.com, send me your mailing info, and I'll get that in the mail for you. And if you want to be our next winner, all you got to do is comment on our social media anywhere you want. Say something nice, share it, give us a heart, a smiley face, and I'm sure I'll pick somebody. You can join us on Facebook at EO Talk Radio, and then YouTube, Essential Oil Talk Radio.
All right, so we got about another minute left. Just real quick on, I just want to again thank Detective Pablo Arriaga for hooking me up with a T-shirt. He gave one for my daughter too, so we took a picture earlier and put it up on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Where we're wearing these to support the Hispanic Officers Association here in San Antonio. We appreciate the work that our officers, both men and women, do out there on the street. And they take care of, make sure that we can go to sleep at night, know that our stuff's going to be there in the morning, or that somebody's not going to break into our house, while we're trying to sleep. So it's a good job. It's a hard job, and a lot of times an unthankful job. But, what's really cool here in San Antonio is that people love our officers. I can't remember how many times we were at a restaurant, especially up here on the north side, is where I spent the last couple of years of my career, that people would come in and they'd buy our meals for us, just to say thank you. All right. Well, that's good. We're going to wrap up the show. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye, guys.